Good evening.
We back.
Hello, everybody.
Hola.
Michelle Slack.
How's everybody doing this fine, incredibly humid evening?
Chris Ovard.
It's very warm where we are. It's very warm where Chris Ovard is. I'll tell you that much.
It's very, very warm.
Very warm, very humid.
And very humid, y'all.
We got chickens dying, y'all. It's so hot.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's
French
bad.
chickens.
Michelle, thank you. You have been with us like the whole week that we've been amiss.
Your mother, you think the microphone is
No, it's cranked.
Oh,
so you're
okay.
good.
Yeah. Thank you.
If they crackle, snap, and pop, just let us know.
No, I think we're far enough away though.
Okay.
So
we got some cool stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight with y'all.
Shwakama. Oh, and
Thank
hey, y'all,
you.
we got
Thank you.
some new T-shirts. So check out our new merchandise. Matt is wearing the gray, and I have the new All Transformers.
I'll switch it back to
All
you.
Transformers are Decepticons shirts.
Show your shirt.
Show your
I don't know.
merch.
I don't know if they can see mine.
I know
as much,
the
Yes,
camera
yeah.
thing's gonna get
but there
me.
you go.
I get all dyslexic when I start looking at myself in the.
So you have the same shirt.
Yeah, I got the same shirts.
Yours
Yeah.
is gray.
Mine's gray. Yep.
So shameless plug, if you haven't already, go check out TheTexasBoys.com, and that's our little farm shop.
Yep.
We have all of our stuff over there. Honey, just coffee line, all different ways to support our channel and what we do here, since the Tubes doesn't like us very much.
The tubes.
At all. No, so this is like our
That's our
fifth time getting a strike
fifth altercation.
on YouTube.
Thankful.
DR was asking, how did we break out? Just gotta wait it out.
the
That's
same
all
way you
gotta do.
break in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it just as it arbitrarily starts, it arbitrarily ends.
Gotta wait out your time.
And the hopes is that your time in the corner has reconditioned your brain so that you think properly
Pretty much.
and you somehow arbitrarily know what not to say, even though it's not clearly defined at all.
I think this time it was for prayer.
Yeah, it's anybody's guess.
and
You asks them.
It wasn't
Right.
for
But
yeah.
it said like prayer and home remedies.
Yeah, it was super insane.
So
and it was
you can't encourage prayer and home remedies, evidently.
Yeah,
It's in the guidelines.
yeah.
So,
So
I don't know.
good. Oh,
crazy.
it's so great.
I
Which
don't-
is so weird
I don't really know
because
what we
I
did.
watch so many other people on YouTube talk
Yeah.
about they're way more harsher than we are when they talk
Yeah.
about the stuff like light years harsher.
Sure.
Now they have millions of dollars and several lawyers and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
All that stuff. So.
and they have probably big contacts in YouTube
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So
And it's always
don't.
better if you're heavily partisan one way or the other. That
too
works
yeah.
into the
If you're
dialectic.
super
That makes
left
it-
or super
Mhm.
right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they hate us because we're neither. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I
So
don't know.
anyway, but let's just jump into it here this evening. We got, which topic do you want to do first?
Jesus said they hated you because they hated me first. So
there you go.
I am pleased.
Nova
I'm
Scotia.
very pleased that they hate me.
Well, you know you're doing something right when they kick you off 5 times. So I mean,
I'm very pleased. And you know what I'm not? I am not proud that they hate me.
there
So
you
there's some
go.
food for thought.
There you go. Pride cometh before a fall.
You just made me think of the verse of the month. Okay, we're gonna share the verse of the month,
Maybe
y'all.
that's how
Here
got
we
kicked
go.
Off. Yeah, don't,
is how we got kicked
don't
off.
kick 'em off.
Proverbs 16:18.
Why?
Pride
Hey,
Why? I know. He's
Pride,
got a
you're
point.
fine. You're
goeth
fine.
before destruction,
There you go.
and haughty spirit before a fall. I almost thought of putting that on the back of the All Transformers are Decepticons.
Hey, that'd be
DR,
pretty
if
cool.
that helps you at all. If that doesn't connect all the dots for you, buddy, there's nothing I can do.
There you go.
All right, maybe that's going to help you. I know you've asked several times, but anyhow,
I think there's certain verses
I
that
kid
you're
because
not
I
allowed
care.
to post.
I kid because I care.
Did you hear me?
Yeah, there's all these arbitrary. It depends on
When we can't post Bible verses on YouTube, will be the day like we just quit.
It
because
depends on what rhythm
It's-
Al Gore.
That's like
you know,
terrible.
each
you know,
day Al Gore
to
has a
even-
different rhythm.
To even
right?
think about that, where you can't post Bible verses
Mhm.
on YouTube, that will be a sad day
Yep.
in the world.
That's what they
So,
said. That's what Mark Dice said. There's
Yeah.
certain verses that you are not allowed to post on all social media, not just
Yep.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
They're God haters.
All right,
so-
let's ride.
Let's go.
What's
Let's
we
jump
doing?
into it. So tomorrow marks our 2-week anniversary of eating carnivore.
I thought it was longer than that.
Nope, 2 weeks.
Oh.
Tomorrow's our
Mother's been
2-week
tracking her calories.
2-week
Dang.
anniversary.
Tracking her carbohydrates.
No, I haven't been tracking anything. I have not been tracking anything. So we're gonna explain to y'all. We're gonna kind of just go into it tonight, talking about why we switched to a predominantly 99% carnivore diet and what we've kind of seen the benefits of
Mhm.
in the first 2 weeks. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of hit all of the things.
Yeah, and we can explain too, like why we're not carnivore zealots. You know,
What do you mean by carnivore zealots? Like,
well,
A
we're
hun-
not this pure. We're not like it's not like this puritanical
oh,
thing
okay.
because
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
we got several questions about like, hey, but you have 400 fruit trees, and what are you going to do with your fruit and all that stuff? And
Right.
so
Yep.
you know, we're not. We didn't choose to go carnivore because of a health related issue
Mhm.
or weight loss or any type of systemic thing like that. It comes more strictly from a prepping standpoint, what we have available, and you know, nutrient dense food that's either on the hoof or on the bird or you know, comes in an egg or whatever.
And all my grocery stores have gone woke.
Well, that too. Yeah.
And I don't really want to support them anymore. So,
We're trying our hardest to
And-
support them as least as possible.
And Benjamin mentioned about sourdough. I think it's real important that when you are doing carnivore or anything, that you're always doing something for gut health, whether it's yogurt.
that's actually false.
What's
Actually
false? Oh, she's gonna.
Yes.
Oh,
You do not need to worry about probiotics when you're on a carnivore diet.
Why is that?
Because
Interesting.
you're already on I've been listening to these 3 different doctors, and one of course is Dr. Barry, and he was explaining about the need for probiotics and all that kind of stuff, and that is just totally bogus. That is
Huh.
not true.
Cool.
When you're on a carnivore diet, you already have everything. Your gut adjusts to that. Now, the exception being this other doctor who's like a neurosurgeon in Australia, he said that the only exception to that probiotic need would be if you were on antibiotics
Right. Okay.
for a period
Oh,
of time.
Okay.
And then he said it's fine if you want to just get some whole fat yogurt, whole fat, no sugar yogurt. Then that would be fine just for a short period of time, and that would correct your gut health. But other than that, carnivores do not need probiotics. Yeah, not needed. Your gut health is going to be 100% a-okay. You're not going to have to worry about that at all. So I was happy to hear that. And I'm only a few days into listening to these different doctors. So we, like my husband said, we went carnivore because that's what we have. We always have wanted to live from our land. We wanted to live from our farm, and we have an abundance of cows. We have abundance of grass-fed beef, and we have an abundance right now that we can have of very humanely farm-raised pork,
Yep.
and they're fed endless vegetables and grocery like scraps, like produce scraps.
Yep.
So they're grown very healthy, and they don't have any vaccines or anything like that. So we have access to that. So since we have access to that, and we have access to a local butcher, that makes meat really, really inexpensive.
Yeah, and we
for
just
us.
we just got done taking in three pigs today,
Yes.
and it's just great with the new local butcher that we found. It's
Yeah.
not like 2 hours away or
Family
anything. Yeah,
owned,
it's
USDA
awesome.
approved. And we took in 3 Mangdalistas.
Mangdalisas, I think.
Mangdalistas.
something.
It's those big curly
Curly-haired pigs,
yeah.
yeah.
So so that's going to be exciting to try them out in a couple weeks. We'll have them turned around for us. But the other thing, like I said, was that it's just with our setup here on the farm, we have 7 freezers, chest freezers that we put in place. We converted our laundry room a couple years back into a freezer room, and we have all of this meat. And when all of the grocery stores enforce these DEI policies that are already in place, and they start to exclude people that don't abide by these, or there's a social credit score, or there's
Carbon tax or whatever.
right, or digital currency, CBDC, whatever comes out, whatever it is, or they all conglomerate together, we have to have our own food. And we're just really excited to be doing it. And then now I'm starting to learn kind of the science behind it, and like the health benefits of it and all of that kind of stuff too. And our diet was already so restricted, y'all. Like,
It was just Whole Foods.
we were already eating
Yeah.
whole food. So it was just like meat, just a meat, and then like a starch.
Yeah.
Or some nights it would just be meat and a vegetable.
Yeah.
Like
already so.
it was that. So now it's just like we just cut out the rice or the quinoa or the potatoes, and it's just meat. And then like I think for our first week or so, we even like broke open a can of green beans, every couple nights for
Yeah.
the
Or
kids.
we've thrown in a couple potatoes.
Right. Some of the kids have had
Yeah.
some potatoes, but so there's been like a, an easing into it. I let the little kids have some barbecue sauce.
And also we still have a pantry full of starches right now.
Yeah,
So
so we do.
we kind of have
Yeah.
to slowly go through it.
Yeah. But as far as me and TD and most of the kids, I mean, I think they're like 99.9% there. So we've just seen nothing but benefit from it for, I guess it's been 2 weeks now. I had like a lot of acne, like hormonal acne, just because I'm 45, y'all, and hormones change. And I never had anything like that on my back, but I did for probably like the past 6 months or a year.
Yeah, and if you don't recall, when you went very plant-based for a while, do you remember right when we were doing the Gerson thing, and when you had a really big breakout of acne
Really?
on your face? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, Matt remembers.
Yes.
And that's when I was telling
Yeah.
that was when I was telling you that you had to add back in some meat,
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I was
Wasn't
afraid
there
to.
another thing
That
too?
was like, I was about 1 month in on Gerson therapy then. Yeah, when that happened. Yep, I remember that. So let's talk about prepping with carnivore, because I just kind of want to get into this. Like, prepping is so multifaceted, and it can be so complex, right? I mean, we've been prepping now since Matt was a baby, and seriously building back up our preps the last few years, and building a really big pantry. And it's just, there's a lot to it, right? I know a lot of you ladies prep and have pantries, and you understand this. But when a couple weeks ago, when it just came to my mind that like I would only have to focus on one food, meat, like that's it. That's all you have to prep. So when you can hyper focus on one thing, it's like, oh, I could do that. Like, I could find a farmer, I could source my own beef or my own pork, or I could make a freezer room, or I could can a bunch of meat, and I can do that. Meat, that's all I have to do. That's so easy.
You want to go ahead and tell that one story about the lady? about the carnivore lady in the
They
McDonald's
probably
thing?
already know it.
Well, go ahead. It
But
was
yeah,
awesome. It was a great story.
Dr. Barry interview. I will link it for you below. I can't even remember the lady's name, but evidently she's like a who's who of the carnivore world, and you all might probably already know who I'm talking about. But he did an interview with her, and I believe she's like 43 or 45, and she looks fantastic, and she does not exercise, and she went carnivore, I think it's like 14 years ago or something. She was like morbidly obese, and she had always been that way all through high school, and tried all different diets, and got married in her 20s. She was a school teacher, and she went to her doctor, her regular doctor, because she wanted to get pregnant. And her doctor was like into, I don't know, his 80s or whatever then. And he said, just eat meat. That's it. Don't eat anything else. Stop eating everything else. Just eat meat. And she said, she was like, what in the world, you know? But she did it. And everything started to come back together. She had all kinds of health issues and health problems. And everything just started to come back together for her. And she lost, I think it's like 175 pounds. And she came back to her doctor, and her doctor's like, did all this blood work. And he said, you are now my healthiest patient that I have. And so it was just
Kelly Hogan.
Kelly Hogan. Yes, Kelly Hogan. Yep. It was an amazing interview.
It was the prayers and the vitamins.
We can't say that.
Oh,
You're gonna get us kicked off. He can't.
It's fine.
Help
it was a
himself.
Hulk Hogan reference.
We'll delete the live stream afterwards. It's fine.
Yourself.
I think that's what we actually literally have to do.
I got to delete
just-
the live stream.
We have to delete live streams
For a
That's
afterwards.
fine.
Hulk Hogan
We'll delete
reference?
it, and then Matt will edit it, and it'll be okay.
Well,
okay.
no, just in general, I think we just have to
That's probably the
just
best.
to keep it on the.
Uppity up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
That wasn't even a direct reference to anything.
Husband.
it'll probably be fine. You're good.
Husband.
It's
Good.
great. It's
Husband.
perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
So anyway, it was just an amazing testimony. And yeah, that was her testimony, was that when her doctor told her that, you know, she was in her 20s and she was teaching school every day. And she's like, how am I going to eat meat every day? So she just went through the McDonald's drive-through every day, and she ordered 4 quarter pounders. And then she ate the pickles, she said, but she took off the bun and everything like that. And she just ate a pound of burger meat.
Nobody has an excuse.
Every
There
day.
you go.
McD meat.
And I'm talking, that's like the worst meat known to man right there.
and
That's like gnarly.
She did it for 10 years, y'all. She ate a pound of McDonald's meat for 10 years. And she went back to her doctor like randomly, and he would test everything, and everything was great. Everything was great. Her blood, there was nothing wrong with her. And then for dinner, she eats about a pound of meat too, like a higher fat.
So
meat,
then
not
in all,
chicken.
how much meat are we supposed to have a day?
I mean, you just
then?
eat until you're full.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can eat as much as you want. Just eat until you're full. It doesn't really matter.
Somebody was asking a question. It was up there somewhere. It was about, can you do the meatitarian deal with little kids?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Let's do this. Let's
Yeah,
answer this
right there.
question. right
Yes,
here.
they said absolutely. I actually just watched one. I'll try to find it and link it for you below. I just watched one today with a different doctor, and that was the specific question. And he said, yes, absolutely,
Really?
100% yes. Now, what I'm doing right now, like I said, 2 weeks will be tomorrow. So what I'm doing with my little ones, because I still have little ones that are 7, 6, and 4, going to be 5, and then I have my big crew, right? And so there's grace in this, right,
Correct,
for the
correct.
kids. So
Yeah.
they can still have barbecue sauce on their meat. I'm not going to be, you know, of course, not high fructose corn syrup barbecue sauce, but like if there's like, you know, a good healthy whole ingredient barbecue sauce that you can find or make your own, they can still have that on their meat. And then they have been still enjoying their fruit smoothies for lunch, the kids. So they just make a fruit smoothie. Actually, my daughter just made one tonight and that's fine. It's just for snack. It's for a dessert. It's just fruit, frozen fruit. So I get frozen blueberries, frozen strawberries, and frozen mangoes. And I buy them in bulk from the store. And then it will be from Azure coming up here next month.
There you go.
And then a scoop of a very, very clean protein powder for them. And they love it. And it's just great. So it's meat and fruit. That's what my kids are doing. And they're totally full. Like, okay, it's just so awesome. Like, I just can't even tell you as a mom how awesome it's been. Like, taking all the prepping off my plate and just being able to just focus on the meat. And then secondly, I guess we can go into and touch on meal planning.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want to talk about that or not, Matt, like how easy our meals have been.
Yeah, they've been really easy.
Caveman meals.
Very much caveman meals. And yeah, they've been really easy for you because between putting them in the Instapot and then also we were able to pick up a really big Pit Boss smoker off of Craigslist for like $200. And it's pellet powered and stuff like that. And we're going to start doing our meats in there and smoking them and slow cooking them in there too. Also, just to kind of break it up. So it's not like always in the Instapot, different things like that. So that's the trickiest thing that I would say about the carnivore is trying to just bring a little bit of diversity to it since it's all meat, you know, for me anyway.
Right.
It's just a little.
Yeah, really, it's just getting your seasonings down.
Exactly.
So, like, if you're making like just ground beef, like switching up the seasonings.
Right.
And here's the thing. This is what I did learn. Personally, for my stomach, I can't just have ground beef, like just straight ground beef. It's just something about it. My stomach.
Yeah, you were saying
it
that.
just doesn't feel good at all.
But you're
the
good
normal
with roast, and
roast,
stuff like that.
stew meats, steaks like that, perfectly fine. But something about just eating, because we tried it before, just having ground beef. Maybe it was just that batch of ground beef or whatever, but it didn't mess me up really bad. But I just had some stomach cramps and different things like that. So yeah, it was. My body was like, why are you just eating ground beef?
Yeah, and
like,
maybe it was like a transitional thing.
It could have been totally,
just because
it was
we switched like a light switch, like
most definitely,
like 2 Thursdays
That's normally
ago.
how you are. It's just like
this is what we're doing now. This is what we're doing.
And my body was like, what in the world?
What are we doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but I'm all good now. So.
Oh, Sun Warrior is the protein powder she's referencing.
Yes. Yeah. It's just I think it's a pea.
I absolutely love it.
It's a pea protein base.
It's really good.
We've done our own just straight pea protein added into the smoothies too. But then there's not the sweetener, so then they add like a bunch of honey.
And technically now that we're eating a much more protein dense, they really don't need to add protein.
No, technically not. We could just take that out.
It's completely unnecessary.
And just go back and just keep doing the raw eggs in the smoothies.
Yeah, we could do that. And just
which I always did.
And just do the frozen fruit and the water.
Yeah. I do frozen fruit, water, and then sometimes if there's any like leftover coconut milk, then I'll put that in there. And then I'll normally put a couple scoops of that protein powder in there and then like 5 or 6 eggs, raw eggs in there.
But we could delete the protein powder.
100%.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Which would save us.
And then I put like some vanilla and some honey and stuff like that in there too, just for like all the vitamins and minerals and stuff like that.
Vitamins and minerals.
It's been so easy.
And our mushroom powder too.
Like as a mom, don't tell the carnivores you're eating mushroom powder; they'll have a heart attack.
Why?
There's all this stuff with the.
You're not a puritanical.
You can't have a
puritanical.
Mushroom powder.
I don't know. I don't want to get into it.
But they're really good for you, I thought.
Nah, everything you thought was good for you is horrible for you.
This is what I'm gonna say. I'm not 100% carnivore. I'm just like
you're 99.
Yeah,
you're 99 and holding. No, you've been eating meat for breakfast and dinner and nothing else except for a smoothie for lunch.
Technically, only meat at dinner and then a smoothie at lunch because
You
I
didn't
don't
even
even
eat
eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't
Um,
because my stomach's not up for eating meat in the morning.
For
I just can't
breakfast,
do it.
this is what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Every morning, I just grab 3 pounds of sausage. It's our ground sausage that we have. And I just put it in a pan, in a cast iron pan, and cook it up. And then it's available, and I make myself a big cup of coffee, and I put coconut cream in it, and the kids have sausage like every morning. That's what they're having. And it's funny, like my littlest one,
Ground beef smoothies.
and then like I think
Mm.
No, we're not
my
doing that.
the oldest
think
of my
JP
little
did that.
ones, like one day he
He did.
made a bowl of oatmeal for himself with some blueberries in it, and I was like, okay, that's fine, you know. But now they're like, the little one, he's like, I want my sausage. Bring me, I want my sausage. Can I have more of that sausage? And it's funny how that is, because I'm definitely not like a meat eater person. Never have been. Never have been a meat eater person.
Never.
And if I did eat meat,
It
I
was
would
like
prefer
barely anything.
fish. Like when we
Yeah,
go away
she
on
was always a
vacation,
fish person.
even if he would take me out to dinner, like all the years being married, like if it was an anniversary dinner, I would get fish, he would get a piece of steak. Like I would never be like steak girl or like, you know, meat girl. Like I just wasn't. But your taste can change. Like if you force yourself and give yourself no other options, you do, like your taste does change for it.
Correct.
I can definitely eat the meat now, and it doesn't bother me or skeeve me out or anything like that. So yeah, so in the mornings we have sausage, and then when it gets to be around lunchtime or so,
And you're eating the meat we raise that's ultra clean, you know what's in it. So
Yeah, it would be different if you were eating like Joe Schmo, bottom of the shelf,
right,
really nasty.
yeah.
Beef,
Well,
like meat.
they say
That's
that doesn't matter either.
Really?
They say
Yeah,
none
that's
of
what's
that matters.
fascinating
That doesn't
about the
matter.
research.
Well,
It's kind of
nope.
fascinating.
if you really
They're
do
saying.
think about
you
it,
get all the
though,
same benefits.
if you do really think about it, you know, since people
wanna try
eat
that
so
myself.
much trash food,
Yeah,
and then if they cut all
Right.
that out and still eat kind of trashier meat, it's still
You're gonna
overall
the
good
blood
for
work,
you.
everything's fine. Now I don't know with the
Yeah.
new things that they're doing to
Yeah,
the meat.
with the
and
Mr.
I'm
Nah.
not gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm not
Mr.
gonna.
Nah.
Mr.
I'm
Nah.
not gonna say it, but
There
that's
you
a
go.
whole
Matt knows
another
how to say it.
social experiment that
I know
I
how to
don't
say
know how that will be.
We know
Um,
speak.
But yeah, there's just a lot of interesting information out there on
Like McDonald's beef. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I don't know, y'all.
I mean, I don't want to experiment.
I don't know.
I'm not
Nope.
Now,
It's okay.
somebody said something about the fat levels. So, well, let me go back to meal prep
Yeah,
real
go
quick.
ahead.
So, 3 packages, 1 pound packages of our homemade ground sausage that is from our own pigs, and I make that up every morning, and then I have a big pan of leftover every morning. So I just put that into a little stainless steel pan, and I just wrap it up with plastic wrap in the freezer, and then that's breakfast, or it could be lunch if somebody wanted something like more meat
Why
for
does
lunch.
Trump always go live when we go
He
live?
always is trying to stunt on our live stream.
Thanks a lot, Trump. Thanks a lot.
Orange man.
So
Sorry.
I put that away, and then it's ready for the next morning. And then for dinner around, lunchtime, early afternoon, I just take out a whole bunch of meat out of our freezers. And my freezers are already divided up into, I have a pork freezer, and then I have a freezer for just ground sausage, and then I have a freezer for ground beef, and then I have a freezer for beef, and I have a few more freezers, but I'll just go into the beef freezer, say if it's, beef night, and I just grab a whole bunch of all the different cuts, all the different things, and I throw it in my bag, and I take it out to the kitchen, and I fill up my Instapot all the way to the tippy top. So just the lid can close.
Yep.
And put water in there and let it cook for like 2.5 hours. So it's so easy. Anybody can do this. I'm saying, like, all of the like homestead stuff where it's like, you can't cook healthy food for your family because you're a working mom, or you can't do this because you don't have enough time. Literally anybody can do this. Get an Instapot and put your food in it in the morning. Put all of whatever meat you're having. Tonight we had ham, so I just got out a whole ham, and our hams are cut in half, so they actually fit in the Instapot. And then I slid in some more meat. There was like some ham steaks. I put them in there, and I just filled it all the way up, and then
Correct.
maybe like halfway with water, and just let it cook for 2.5 hours. I'm talking frozen, solid meat. I'm not taking it out the night before. There's no prep for it. I'm just throwing it in the Instapot with water for 2.5 hours, high pressure, and that's dinner. And it's so easy.
What was the guy saying? One of the doctor guys saying about the fat, eating the fat or whatever. What were you saying?
So with the
You're telling me
fat,
something about that.
you can still be healthy on carnivore and just eat regular grade, fat that's in the meat. But if you
Okay.
want to increase your health and you want to be like at your optimal thing, you can do, I'm not super into it right now, guys. I don't know all the things, but it's like a high fat carnivore.
Huh.
Now with having our own meat, like we can get our ground beef. We can ask for it to be 50-50 if we wanted it to be. So it could be a higher fat ground beef. And just naturally, because our meats are grass fed and they are, just raised out on pasture and they don't have any grain and anything like that, they're just going to be a higher nutrient dense meat all the way around anyway.
Mhm.
But yeah, and pork's fatty.
God said don't eat fat. Oh, you got to eat fat, or you're gonna mess up your brain. So, and I mean, the biggest thing about this carnivore thing
Well,
is,
the blood is it. Yeah, Michelle's right with the
well,
blood.
yeah, the blood's a different
Yeah.
thing, but fat
Yeah.
is not blood, and it's two totally different things. And there's an enormous amount of anecdotal, just experiential stuff when it comes to carnivore. Is if you just even consider like the single show alone, right? They got to go out there and they got to survive. And what are they looking
Correct.
for? They're looking for fat and meat. And the people that find fat and meat are the one that stay alive the longest and the healthiest the longest.
Yep.
And that's, and there's sometimes when they can only forage on greens and berries and they just try to stuff themselves with that and it doesn't work.
Right.
And and that may be anecdotal, but it's reality. And you do absolutely need the fats, because your brain is fat, and your function of all your arteries in your heart is, those heavy fats. When the retarded food pyramid said you need low fat diet, so now what's the answer? High fat diet.
There you go.
As
Yep.
soon as
There you go.
myplate.gov and Michael, goes spinning the gov plate and says you got to eat no fat, or hey, replace
Trans fats. Yep.
with your trans fats. You don't think that was like some conditional programming, trying to get you to eat the trans fats? And now look at all the people that ate trans fats and what happened to them.
Oh,
Okay, I'm
they're
just saying.
transformers now.
Transformers.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll probably go into like
Yeah, and I think
some things
yeah.
of like the carnivore actual, like the theory behind it.
Okay.
The theory I don't buy into.
But we're not against like eating vegetables and fruits.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
the stuff, even the stuff that
Or-
we sell. We eat honey.
No,
We drink coffee.
I still
we
drink
tea.
still
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same amount of coffee. I
Yeah.
still consume the same amount of honey
right.
on a daily
And
basis.
we were already dairy free, so that wasn't a
Correct.
big deal
Yeah,
for us.
yeah.
So I put coconut milk in my
Yep.
coffee. That's not a big deal.
And I think why we mainly were going this route was because we wanted to we wanted to be more self-sufficient,
Mhm.
and we saw that we just wanted to start eating what we could produce. And
Mhm.
what can we produce? A whole lot of meat.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But on the other hand, We still have 400 fruit trees, so we're still going to eat off of them when we can, when they're in season. Also, we still have a garden with
Jade bush beans,
and all that type of stuff. But guess what? That stuff doesn't. That stuff's not fruiting all year long. The fruit trees don't fruit all year long. The garden does not produce crops all year long. But the cattle are always out there waiting in the pasture to be butchered. The
deer season,
deer
there's deer
season, there's chicken season, you know, with your chickens that you can butcher at any time, pigs, you know. So we were just trying to figure it out. And egg season, wabbit season, so any of those seasons. But we just kept thinking about this, and then we started seeing all of our grocery stores going woke, and we're like, you know what, we could really just do away with the couple little things that we get there, and then just, you know, 90% of, and then when we really started thinking about it, we're like, well, 90% of our diet's going to be meat, you know, or 98% of our diet's going to be meat, because we can't produce rice. We can't produce oats and different things like that. Not saying that we're not going to eat those things, you know, but
I'm saying we're not going to eat those.
You're saying you're not going to eat those things. I'm going to eat the stuff that's in the pantry, because
he doesn't want to.
Thank you, Matthew.
Because
someone has already paid.
Dad already paid for all of them. Mom wants to give them away.
Matthew.
I said, no, you can donate them to me, and I will gratefully eat all the healthy rice and stuff that's in there. So until it's all gone, and then there you go.
Yeah. So anyway,
because I don't think it's gonna, like, that stuff, like, that's when I think it gets into like this like weird conspiracy.
Yeah, well, you haven't heard
stuff.
all of the I think the
Right?
super cool part about it is that we can
Because
thrive on one thing.
There's the direct opposite of this, and it's veganism.
Right.
You know? And they're like, meat's terrible. Meat's bad for you. And then you could
Right.
listen to that and be like, dude, look at me. It's terrible for you. And then if you go to the crazy opposite side of the island.
Well, yeah, and
it's
there's people in this.
Meat's great, but everything else is toxic for you.
There's people in the carnivore vein that are like, vegetables are all nightshades and they will poison you. And I'm just like, well, that's not true.
What I'm trying. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Now,
yeah.
Can it? Some people, yeah. If you're jacked up, will it jack you up more? Yeah.
Correct.
But what if you're healthy? What if you are the ideal body weight you want to be, right? What if you're healthy? What if you have no overarching medical conditions, right? Let's say you're healthy, you have your high energy and all that stuff, right? And now you just decide to do this because it's practical and logical, you know? And then, oh, but wait, your blackberries are ripening. You're going to go out and pick blackberries and eat them? Yes, I am. You know, it's not, you know,
Well,
don't overthink it, y'all. So.
Yeah, and we'll get into, maybe, I don't know if it's going to be tonight or not.
We're 30 minutes in.
Do you want to go into it?
I don't know.
So
what do you want to go into?
What are we going into?
We can jump into some of carnivore theory and why I don't necessarily.
This is like string theory.
Subscribe to the theory. Now, I'm not saying I don't subscribe to the medical aspect of it and the benefits of it, because I'm totally believing in all the medical and the aspect and that benefit.
You're going to go paleo. I know where you're going on this.
No.
No, because this is the paleo concept.
He always thinks that he knows everything.
Our ancestors 8 million years ago
would
grab the lion
he thinks he knows
and bite into the raw leg. And the Messiah would drink the blood.
Yes, has to do with that. Okay.
Does it? Oh, it has to.
No way, really?
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yep.
So I'm gonna I have notes.
I've already read and listened to all the things.
No, he always says that. No, he hasn't.
But I have. She's upset that I beat her.
He was preaching. He was preaching to us about a year or two ago about this.
Yeah, he was.
And me?
Yeah. I was
what? You were what?
It.
No. Would you argue about it? Because I know you don't like to argue.
Against it. I argue with him about everything, y'all.
But you don't like to argue. In your what are you? What's your INTP? What's your thing?
I'm not telling you.
INFJ.
Yep.
I'm a something or other, and she's a something or other else. And mine spells a curse word, so I don't even like to use it.
No, it doesn't. Okay. He doesn't know what he's talking
In my
about.
mind, it spells a curse word.
Okay, let's get into just a
That's
little
kinda funny.
little tad bit of
Oh,
what
man.
I've learned about carnivore theory and why I don't subscribe to the theory. Not saying that we don't believe in the medical benefits and all of that kind of stuff, but the theory behind carnivore is that, you know, we're eating like our ancestors. And try to follow me on this, you Christians here that are with us. Try to follow this and see if this is Christian speak or not. So am I saying million or billion? I don't know. They always switch it
Probably
up.
billion.
Next year it'll be billion.
8 million years ago.
Really? Wow.
Okay, our ancestors ate like this, right?
Joe Biden
they
was
ate
there. He
meat,
knows.
and all they could do was scavenge the fat and stuff because they didn't even have traps and hooks and things
Really?
like that.
Wow.
And they didn't have ways to like hang animals up and drain out the blood, so they ate all the blood too. And you know, they were just these like
Savages.
It's all Liver King primal
super
stuff. Yeah.
savages,
It's
right?
all the Liver King.
So therefore, now I don't know much about evolution because I don't believe in evolution either. But
Thank you.
I don't think that if you believe in evolution, which is what they're saying 8 million years ago, we would be monkeys, right?
Go ahead, Christian. Show them how Luddite you are, you Bible believer.
Right? We would be monkeys, right? So
No, we would be
if
Cro-Magnon.
So if we would be monkeys, then
Don't
I'm just
monkeys
saying
We would be
if you-
lower
if you-
forms of human.
Well, if you
all
want to
right?
go all the way back to our great
Well, we were like a soup of
ancestors,
rocks, really.
well, right. But I mean,
Once I was a
before we
monkey
merged.
swinging from a tree. Now I'm a
But, like,
doctor with a PhD.
if your granddaddy was a monkey, he didn't eat meat.
No,
He
didn't
ate
eat
vegetables.
meat.
So I think their theory kind of falls apart at some point.
It really
because
does.
they want to preach that we're all animals. That is the thing of it. We're animals. We're animals. We're
Yep.
animals. We're just carnivores. We need to drink the blood of stuff. We need to live. We need to
Nasty, dude.
We need to eat. What does it say?
Was corn pop.
Matt, they thought your mom was your
like-
girlfriend.
Who?
Like the Messiah.
Keisha Wagner.
No, she's definitely my mother. People get it
Corn
confused all the time.
Yeah.
That's my father over there.
Yes,
Hi.
he's my boyfriend. So yeah. Anyway,
Trust me, they're married. Don't have
that
to worry about it.
I will hold hands. so
Happily,
people
yeah.
don't get
Act like you're married,
confused.
please.
So what was I going to say? So our theory, Christians, I guess I want to say, don't subscribe to that theory, right? We don't believe in 8 million years ago.
You
We don't
shouldn't.
believe that we
Yeah.
came
I
from
don't
monkeys.
subscribe to most theories.
Right. So we believe that
Especially that one.
in the beginning,
even gravity.
God created us
That'll hurt your brain.
humans, right? And we are different than the animals. He made us different than the animals.
Just a little.
We're not animals. And we aren't supposed to drink blood because that's what heathen cultures do. And we shouldn't drink blood.
We shouldn't eat each other.
Yeah, we're not
either.
Liver King.
And
all right. And we won't be able to cycle 20 grand worth of roids every month. so.
and we were put in a garden to dress and to keep it. And he gave us all of these trees and these fruit that produce themselves and trees that produce themselves, right?
Correct.
And he gave it to us for our good, right? And he gave us herbs for healing, all different things, right? He
Yep.
gave us. So
Yep.
I don't subscribe
He gave us
to-
herbs for lots of things, bro. For 20, bro. Every herb in the field, bro.
Okay. So anyway,
Just saying.
Oh
else?
man, that was a good
No, I'm
one.
good. Oh, so let's talk about this
You
whole
gotta
Garden of
laugh.
Eden.
If you don't
Let's-
laugh, this is
let's-
a really boring stream.
he's so ornery. No, if I
That's
laugh at him,
awesome.
he'll keep going.
Let's talk
It
about the.
encourages
That
him.
was great. That
I
was a
have
good
to
joke.
treat him like that because
I trained
it
my son to
will-
encourage me. That way I
No.
can just always keep going.
He doesn't know any better yet.
That was
I've
great.
been around longer.
And
Well, this is how you keep stuff interesting.
yeah,
don't want
this is-
people leaving.
So
It's a comedy
okay, so let's
show.
talk.
Come
so
on.
Come
so
on, Steve.
so
Come on,
there's
Steve.
vegan
Come on.
mythology, right? So the vegans want to say, well, we were put in the Garden of Eden and we were given only plants, and we were, right? Okay, but when man fell and sinned, and there needed to be a payment for sin, that's when the whole concept of burnt offerings came up, right? And with that introduction of burnt offerings, you were required to eat the meat, right? And then what else happened though? The ground was cursed, right? So now this highly productive, highly nutrient dense ground is now cursed, right? Now every growing thing, right, is not producing the way that it was growing or the way that it was originally designed. And now you have animals, you have these herbivores that can take unedible greenery, right, on this what's that 87% of land is it's not arid arable land, right? Which is grazable land, which is where you're unable to actually grow vegetables. This is what like debunks all this vegan retardia stuff about like, oh well, if everybody ate meat, blah blah blah, when in the inverse reality is because 87% of the land that's available is arable, right? And you can send herbivores and rotate herbivores over this arable land and produce nutrient dense meat, right? So actually, because of the fall from the garden and because of all this, we can point back to and the Christian carnivore theory or whatever you want to call it, but we can see reasons why this is taking place and the validation of it or the value of it and why all that other like twisting retardia vegan folklore stuff is kind of stupid.
Yeah. He
So there
knows
you
it
go.
all. See, he said he knows it all. I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you. Okay. Yeah, man was Benjamin is in the chat here and he's like tearing it up. Man was made to care for the earth and the animals and sustain for his food.
Husbandry.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So there's a lot of biblical history that that Christians would ascribe to that the carnivore theory just really it's total opposite. So in those things, but that's okay.
But that doesn't debunk or methodology,
right?
What I mean? Yeah,
right.
That's always where the danger comes in.
Right.
Is because that hey, honestly, organic, everything gets co-opted, right? Everything, anything worth anything gets co-opted. I mean, Rick Warren, Hillsong, whatever, everything, God's churches and God's people assembling together. Christ started his churches, right? And the gates of hell would not prevail against them. So just because there's all these satanic fake churches that preach antichrist and prosperity gospel, does that mean that the idea and the practice and the functionality of church is wrong? Absolutely not, right? It means, and it's the same thing with these other sciences or what is observable, right? And just because they get co-opted by some like psycho hippie or some evolutionary nonsense and they spin this their own psychotropic, just like all of the DMT and acid smashers and the Joe Rogans, right? And they want to say that this whole zeitgeist concept, like the Bible is just all these, the burning bush, Moses was a bad acid trip, and this is real. Oh yeah, all kind of super blasphemous stuff, right? And there's people that like conflate and buy into this stuff, and always, Satan is the deceiver. He will corrupt and pervert everything. And the point of perverting or corrupting anything is you only really have to corrupt it like 2%, right? So, just because you hear something crazy about one thing, it doesn't, just like if somebody that I don't agree with on maybe most things, but they say something that's true and accurate, I will quote them like, well, yeah, what they said, that quote, what they said is absolutely true. Now, what they said over here is wrong and crazy and insane, but that doesn't devaluate the truth that they spoke. You know what I mean? Right. And that's where discernment comes in.
Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Benjamin's saying it right there. The fact that these are false practices, at least no way that they're correct.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at with all of that. And it's been so easy. I mean, it's probably been the easiest thing that we've ever done. Definitely easier than like going vegan or fruitarian, or, and we've done so many things over the years,
yeah.
y'all. That takes a lot of effort, and you're trying to figure out ways to do things and then get in all your calories and eat so much. You have to eat such a mass amount of food to feel satiated and full, and all of that stuff. But this is easy. I mean, literally, I grab a few packages of frozen sausage, I cook it up, I put the leftovers in the freezer, I just pull it back out, warm it up the next day on the stove, and that's breakfast. And then dinner is just a bunch of meat from the freezer. So, and like, I don't think you have to be puritanical with it either, as far as like finding like grass fed, perfect finished beef and all this stuff. They're saying
It's
no, you don't have to do that. So I would definitely steer clear of anything that's been like injected with
Absolutely. Yeah.
modifications.
100%.
That's a new
100%.
thing on the market, and I haven't heard any of these guys touch on that yet. Maybe they do. I'm only like 3 videos in, y'all, so I'm very new on the scene. So maybe there are some carnivore people talking about certain meats to be aware of, because we don't know what the ramifications are yet. But as far as they're saying, and all these doctors are saying, if it's a pretty fairly clean, good enough meat, and it's high fat, so you're talking about beef and pork basically, is what I understand it to be. You can eat all the other meats too, obviously, but beef and pork is going to be your higher fat meats, lots of red meat. You're good to go. So it doesn't get any easier than that.
Yeah.
And I've been watching also Homestead How, just different bits of his videos. I think he came out with one today or yesterday.
What are the videos called?
Dr. Ken Berry has a lot on carnivore. Homestead How has a lot on carnivore. There's there's tons of
There's so many
carnivore channels.
and
It's kinda,
doctors, and they're very long length interviews. It's not like chopped up into little bits.
very
It's
data driven. Yeah.
very, very data driven. These are practicing physicians that practice. It's not just theory. So
But if I
we
had
can link some below.
if I had to pick between, like Texas Farmer saying, if I had to pick between like, nasty grain fed, factory beef and like grass fed organic beef, it's going to be grass fed organic beef all day long. So,
Oh, sure. And they'll say that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a choice,
yeah,
sure, go with your healthiest pick
healthiest pick.
that you can
Yep.
afford, but don't kill yourself over that. Like if you have 8 people to feed in your family,
Yeah,
or
that's
if
true.
it's just 2
Yep.
of you and you're on a limited income, just do the best you can. And go to a local butcher shop and see what you can get. I found another local butcher shop. It's a Mexican butcher shop, but it's right here, local. And I was like, you know what? I think I want to stop in there and just see like what kind of meats they have and
Mhm.
stuff like. Not for us because we have plenty of meat, but just to kind of spread the word, because we have other friends and people in the area that they might not be able to afford grass fed for the bulk of what they're going to need for meat. So that's what they do, and that's what my friend is. She's a year in on this now. Her husband was pre-diabetic. They were about to put him on all different types of medications, and they've both lost over 100 pounds, and they're just doing amazing on carnivore. And it's just easy. I mean, there's grace in everything. You can be gracious to yourself.
Yeah, Benjamin, we raise kunis here on the farm,
Mhm.
and
We got
Beans just gave birth 2 days ago.
That's our mama pig.
Yep,
our mama
mama pig. Yep.
Yeah, she has 6 cute little babies.
Oh yeah. So Texas Farmer's on here. So yes, Texas Farmer. Hammy is the proud papa to 6 new baby pigs.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I said congratulations to him that day when I walked back through the orchard. He was laying in the mud,
I
snorting.
don't know if he knows though.
I don't know if he knows either.
No, I
we
mean,
we
Poor
did
feller.
we did separate him though.
Yes.
yeah,
We
he's
separated him because
he's in the front orchard.
he's just goofy sometimes. He's just like
He's
He is
so
well,
big.
He's huge.
He's just so big and
huge.
goofy.
So we
and
put
he's
him
just like,
yeah
you know,
until the babies get a little bigger
Yeah.
because the babies are like
I didn't want
so
him to
little
like,
right now.
I don't know,
Lay on them by accident.
sit on him
Yeah.
or whatever.
I don't think he would ever hurt them. He's
I
so
highly doubt that.
docile.
Yeah.
But I don't know that he was aware that the babies were there. I'm not sure. He
I
was
don't
just
know.
laying there in the mud. But I walked past him and I was like, "Oh, congratulations, Big Papa!" And then I went to Beans. But she's a great mama.
Yeah, she is.
And we put a fan out there on her today, so I sprayed her down with some water.
Yeah, the heat indexes are incredible.
I
It's
think it
just
was
been-
113, 114 today.
Mhm.
I
It's
would
been
I would
brutal.
say that this past week, heat index wise in 10 years is the hottest been since we've been
Hottest
here.
it's
Yeah.
ever
No
bad.
doubt. Yeah.
been.
It's
Yeah, no doubt.
really bad.
No doubt.
It's the humidity too that is so intense. It's like just walking is intense
Yep.
out there.
And we've
It's
lost
bad.
12 chickens now in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So we've been putting box fans out there and
Hmm.
everything.
So every coop has a box fan in it now,
Yeah.
and
And then we put a box fan out there for the pigs too. So they got a wallowing hole and everything, but at least for the baby pigs too, they can get in front of the fan and
Yeah.
cool down and stuff like
because
that.
yeah, it's really bad out there. I don't know. I was like, okay, let's go to Panama. It's like 80 degrees all year round. Sign me up. This is ridiculous. Like, I see why people move to Alaska now. Like, this is brutal. I would be complaining about the snow too, but it's really bad out.
Yeah, it's hot. Woo.
It's like we can take hot. We can take hot.
Oh, yeah, I mean you got to just drink two or 3 gallons. I drank probably 2 or 3 gallons of water today.
Yeah.
That's all.
Oh,
You
yeah?
just gotta-
It's
yeah.
just like
Just
all
gotta
summer
drink
long
a lot of
is
water.
90 plus.
You're gonna be
degrees.
outside,
I
you
mean,
know.
we're in Texas. That's just how it is. We've been here
Yeah.
9 years, but this past week is just
One of the
different.
so we have this huge power outage, and so they brought in all these crews from out of state,
Yeah.
and a 35-year-old guy from Tennessee who's here working on restoring the power. They think it was heat stroke, and it killed him. 35 years old.
Oh no!
you know. Yeah, lineman. Yeah, it happened today.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it's
that's
wild.
awful. Yeah, I mean, I can see that because you're
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
you're up high and you're working with electrical
And
cables.
if you forget to drink water.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
you're
all
just
that
busy and
Stay
you're sweating.
hydrated.
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
on,
And they're wearing all that,
Safety gear.
yeah.
It's bad. It's really, really bad. I don't know, but unusually cold. Where are you?
He's in Hawaii.
Oh,
Yeah, cry me a river about how unusually cold it's been 72 like every day with this
Okay.
perfect breeze. I'm pretty sure Benjamin's literally in Hawaii.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, I feel
That's
so
funny.
bad for him. That,
So
That's awesome.
I know,
That's good.
it's
Good
funny.
for you.
Well, I'm glad to have another carnivore person here on board with us to help us along because tomorrow's 2 weeks, and I'm really excited about it.
I've been doing a 2-week victory lap, y'all. So,
You've been doing good with it.
yeah.
You like it better than I mean, I know our normal meals were just meat and like.
I don't eat during the day, and I drink a coffee with like 4 eggs in it in the morning, and that's
Oh yeah, that's what you should
And
say. Yeah.
yeah.
So what has your routine been?
yeah. My routine is I drink a large 32-ounce coffee with like 4 or 5 eggs in it, and I drop some of our delicious like organic cacao powder in it with some mushroom powder, and that's what I drink for the day. And then I eat dinner at around 5 when we come home. Yeah.
And you drank some water.
Yeah, and I drank a ton of water today, and I got these It's made by Trace Minerals. It's pretty cool. It's these little packets, you know, with trace minerals and vitamin C just for electrolytes.
Oh, how could you?
Yeah.
You know, how
You're
could
the
you even do
only
that?
one that
That's not true carnivore, man. You got
Well, I mean, yeah.
no, you can't. No,
He was
vitamin
probably
C.
sweat 3
Nope,
gallons
he
can't
a
was
do
day.
that.
outside
Nope.
in this all day
Got to
today.
put
Yeah,
like a
I
steak in there.
I drank
Yeah.
3 gallons of water and didn't use the restroom all day.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's not good. That means you didn't drink enough water.
Well, it all came out, but it just
in the low 50s until June. Wow.
Wow.
We have never
Wow.
been to Hawaii.
yeah. I put raw. They have to be my eggs.
That's
I ain't putting
nuts.
no eggs you buy at a
So
store.
Yeah.
But I put my.
he probably
eggs in my
has to
coffee.
like. You probably live in the mountains then, right? Or
Must.
something.
I don't know.
Because for it to be that chilly, he said it's been barely in the 60s at night.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Well,
Oh, Mark's saying he's putting scripture and it's not coming up in the chat. That's weird. Well, that doesn't surprise me.
the full truth DD tutor is we
Yeah,
do not
it's
know.
blocking it. That's terrible.
We got what is it?
Interesting.
Mark's trying to put verses in the chat and it's blocking.
It's
It's
not.
not letting them post.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
The full
Welcome
truth
to
is we don't really
1984.
know why we got the
Yeah.
strike for.
No, the truth is we
but-
absolutely almost have no idea, and it is strictly a like
Yeah, we don't know.
spitball guess to even
Right.
And they
But-
were
try
like,
to
But
guess.
Yeah.
on the one page it said encouraging prayer
Yep.
and home remedies. And
Yeah.
in the very beginning of the video that we got knocked for that they took down, we had thanked someone for praying for somebody in the chat said they were praying for our family, and we said thank you
because we had
because we were what we cannot say the word, but I don't know if you're allowed to say sick.
SICK.
We were right, and somebody said we
You
praying for
can't
your
say
family,
that.
and then I had even said that some of the kids had gone to the doctor, and you went to the doctor, and James went to the doctor,
And we're not
We
doctors.
weren't pushing like
There you go.
there was no home remedies that were being
No.
pushed. I don't know
No.
if we said
We took stinking like
And s-
pharmakia drugs.
And so
from
then
the
and then
doctors.
I
then
don't know.
you know
Come
when
on.
you dispute it, they magically review it in less than 30 seconds and say, "Oh yes, no, obviously, yeah, you broke our thing." And I'm like, "Hey, you think you could give me a timestamp? You think you could you think you could say what it was?
What
You
did
think you
we
could
say
timestamp
wrong?
it and say,
Yeah.
well, in this 30-second period, you said the magic word? Nope,
Right,
nope,
yeah.
nothing.
Because
And
we've
well,
learned
They're
certain
just
words.
scumbags.
Like we know a certain
I know that
list
word,
of words that we
scumbag.
can't
And they
say.
just added a new page where it's like, watch your content. This is what you said. And they just post your whole video.
Yeah,
It was
it's
the
like,
whole video.
Oh, thanks.
The whole
Yeah.
thing. I'm
Thanks,
like,
Doc.
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
It made no sense.
And that's all,
whatsoever.
you know, that's all psyops. They're
But-
just trying to.
But they
mess
said
with
you,
your
you
brain.
can't encourage prayer and home remedies against science. So I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
who
I don't
knows?
know.
Your guess is as good.
So
Yeah.
wow, I can't believe they're blocking scripture. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it could have been that, Michelle. That we are definitely not
Mhm.
allowed to say.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot say that at all.
Oh, and yeah, and I think about that with my buddy Jesse, and I talked about that, which had nothing to do with the other stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
Oh, what are you reading?
I don't know.
yeah.
And the other thing that we talked about was when I had thyroid cancer back 4 years ago,
Yeah.
and
Oh no, that's true.
and
Yeah.
then TV
Yep.
said, you know,
Yep.
that
Yep.
Yeah, and who knows? Like that's what's so.
I don't know.
You know.
But
They
we
did
also
say-
went to a cancer hospital. We were at a
Yeah,
cancer
we went to
hospital.
MD.
They
Anderson.
I
did.
mean, so we're not anti-science.
It did say medical misinformation.
Yes,
That's
that-
what they
Right,
did
that's
hit
what it
us
says.
for.
But
Right.
but that is so incredibly broad that you'll never know what that is.
Right.
Yes.
But the medical misinformation underneath of encouraging prayer and home remedies, I think that was kind of I don't know, just guessing. I don't know. Who knows? You know what? Everybody can say whatever they want until they just decide to just give you a strike.
That's
and
very
then-
true. Yep.
'cause,
Very true.
I mean,
Yeah, because other guys can say whatever and pivot and do all kinds of stuff, And they're bigger channels, and they have YouTube handlers, and they can say, hey, can I say this? And they'll say, well, you can say that, but you can't say that. And then they twist it a little bit and they get away with it, and they get
we don't have
a couple 100,000
people
views.
like coordinating our
Yeah.
words for us. So
Yeah, nor will I ever. So
it is straight natural news.
and that's probably what gets me in trouble. But
Anyway, should we say goodnight?
I think we should say
Probably.
goodnight.
It's starting to pixelate and do all
Yeah.
types of weird stuff. So
So anyway, y'all, it's been fun.
can't even tell you.
It's always fun hanging out with y'all.
Misinformation. Yeah, pretty much.
And this time we
Yeah.
streamed on all 4 channels. So we just,
Yep, we streamed to the main channel, Mom's channel, the backup channel.
so just stay
And Rumble.
subscribed to all of our stuff, and we'll be on. And we appreciate y'all. If you need
Yeah.
anything, check out the TexasBoys.com.
Yeah, if you need some unvaccinated honey, or you need some CBD coffee or lion's mane,
maybe you need a
coffee.
T-shirt that says "All Transformers are Decepticons."
you need to pull it down because it says all Transformers Decepticons.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
All Transformers are.
And then it has the
Decepticons.
Decepticons
It's got the Decepticons logo.
Yeah, I switched it out
Yeah.
from the Transformer one to
Yeah.
the Decepticons.
And it's funny because Matt doesn't even know what Transformers are, so I had to explain it all to him. So,
What do you mean?
well, as far as
You never watched.
Yes, I did.
You watched it?
Oh,
You
yes.
pulled it up? He
Oh.
pulled it up.
No, I
Okay.
didn't pull it up. I watched it when I was at my grandparents' house. Like,
You did.
really
I'm
young.
so sorry. I apologize.
yes, for like I've watched a lot.
I
A good
apologize
chunk
that
of
we exposed you to that.
did?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it was.
That's
just
why
like
we no longer talk to your
on the
grandparents.
black.
Don't say that. Please
Love
don't
you, my
say
mom and
that.
papa.
They don't watch
They'll
our
never
show.
watch.
They don't watch
Anyway.
the show anyway, so
They
it's
We
won't
fine.
be
do love
offended.
them,
We love them.
kind of. All
It's
right.
It's
Terrible.
gonna-
Joking,
your mom's
joking.
gonna watch it, and then she's gonna get offended, thinking that she did something wrong.
Oh man.
Oh my!
Oh man.
Oh boy!
We will have more mulberry cuttings next year,
Correct.
and I'll have all kind of cool cuttings next year.
And if anybody is interested in buying a cow or
Or a
getting
pig,
some
if you're local.
local grass-fed beef, and if you are in the Northeast Texas area,
Yes.
shoot us a email at countrytexasboys@gmail.com.
Yeah, or go to our website and go to it's all set up.
correct.
It's all set up on the website.
Yeah.
You can pick out what you want. You can split it with other people. It's all USDA. So
Yep.
no, nothing against science here, people.
Nope.
Nothing
Yeah.
against
No, we would
science.
never want to hurt the science.
The same.
All hail
Oh,
science.
Yeah, but there's
so
still 2 cows available, and
Correct.
I think there's still 2 pigs available. So if you want something this month, that's what's available.
yep.
And if you want smaller portions, let us know
Yeah.
because that might be available
Maybe
as well.
James is real excited about that. I'm
James is
The smaller
I'm not
portions.
excited
James
about
is
that.
excited
It's a lot of
about
work.
shipping beef.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
but I'm
We'll see.
thinking about local pickup even
Correct.
for smaller
Okay.
portions. If you
Correct.
tell us you want a smaller amount, maybe we could do some kind of local pickup for that and work it out. All right, we got to go.
All right.
All right,
See y'all.
See y'all later.
Good night.